Welcome back to Sorare Assist, assisting you in your Sorare journey. So with the first edition of the Sorare Season Scouting, I thought it was only right to do some budget player videos every day in anticipation of the upcoming player auctions. So stick around to get your shortlist together. Before that, I'd like to welcome all Sorare managers watching this video today. If you're a new visitor to the channel, then welcome. If you're a returning visitor and didn't subscribe on your last visit, then do that by bumping that big red button and click that notification bell to be alerted about new content. If you like this video, then please do just that and ping that like button. And please try and watch the video all the way through to the end to make the YouTube gods happy. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, and for more free Sorare content, please check out SorareAssist.com. Also become a patron of Sorare Assist for budget player scouting, and grab yourself a free 100-page Ultimate Guide Sorare ebook. Links to all this good stuff are in the description. If you've not signed up to Sorare yet, then sign up using the link below to get a 13 common cards and a free limited card. Using these links also helps support the channel and future content. None of this content is financial advice. Right, now that's out of the way, let's get stuck into today's content. With Sorare announcing the season scouting, I'll be producing some budget scouting videos every day for the targeted players in that specific auction each day. As we know, this is the schedule set out by Sorare, so on Monday we're going to have the auctions for the America Leagues, Tuesday La Liga, Wednesday Challenger Europe Part 1, Thursday we've got the Challenger Europe Part 2, Friday Bundesliga, Saturday Asia and Sunday the Champion Europe. So every day I'll be posting a video right here on Sorare Assist. Not only that, but I'm also creating a scout pack for the upcoming Underdog Special Game Weeks, which are going to be run between Game Week 250 and 254. As we know, each special weekly will have a maximum threshold in terms of the player's last 5 scores to be eligible. Within these scout packs, I'll be targeting players with the required last 5 average who are capable of better scores and also have a perceived easier fixture in that specific special weekly game week. This will give us the best chance to try and take advantage of the rewards on offer in these special weeklies. The scout packs will be available the game week before the special weekly to make sure that players are still eligible, as in the last 5 average isn't too high. These scouting packs are available to patrons only, and you can gain access to these by joining the Sorare Assist Patreon. You will also unlock all 8 issues of the weekly scout reports, which is the regular content over on our Patreon. Not only that, but you'll also get early access to the budget scouting videos coming up over the next week or so. So check that out using the link in the description. So back to the budget scouting videos then, and this week I'm going to be concentrating on the auctions, on the player auctions that are due to end on Sunday. These are of course the French La Liga 1 players and the Italian Serie A players. So let's get straight stuck into it, starting with the goalkeepers as ever, then go on to defenders, midfielders and forwards. So the first goalkeeper, and the only goalkeeper in fact I've found, is Samir Handanovic. Obviously it's very hard to find some cheap players in the Champion Europe region, but I've done pretty well here, and Handanovic was the only one, well, it's probably the cheapest one, that looked a decent shout. Plays for Inter Milan of course, and he is 37 now. This season he's played 26 games for Inter Milan. He's also shown 2.7 saves per game, which is a 76% save ratio, which is absolutely brilliant. He's also kept 11 clean sheets as well for Inter Milan, so even though he is 37, he's still a fantastic goalkeeper. In terms of his price, you're looking at 237 for his limited and a 1020 for his rare card. Now these look expensive still, but if you compare him to other goalkeepers at top sides, you're going to find that he's the cheapest on the market. And if we look at his scores for a goalkeeper, this looks absolutely fantastic. Maybe worth checking the situation with his contract, see if he is due to stay, but I don't think he's going to be retiring anytime soon. He's still a fantastic goalie. So moving on to the defenders then, and the first one I've gone for is Amari Traore of Stade Rennes. Rennes look a good outfit this season. They have been playing really well recently. He plays on the right of defence for Stade Rennes, and he's started 21 games for them this season. He's also scored 1 goal and assisted 6, and he's also averaging 1 shot per game, which is good. His key passes look good as well at 1.1 key passes per game, and his accurate passes is also impressive at 44 accurate passes per game on average. Not only that, his interceptions look good at 1 interception per game, and tackles per game is 1.9. Looking really impressive, this player, Only 30 still as well, looks like a very attacking, creative right back. In terms of his price, you're looking at around £36 for his limited and £333 for his rare. For a Champion Europe defender, these prices look very cheap. And if we look at his score graph, we can see he's got some really fantastic scores here, including some 90s, 80s, 70s and 60s. And a few 50s thrown in there for good measure as well. Very few scores below the 50 mark. Looks really impressive, and Stad Rennes are on a really good form as well. Another defender who looks really cheap to me at the moment is Jan Cuadrado of Juventus and Colombia. 33 now, 34 in May, but it shows no signs of slowing down, and I would expect, and it's been reported that he could get another year on his contract at Juventus, with also another option on that contract to extend a further year. So that is one to look out for. He's not going to retire, that's for sure. So he can play as a right back and also as a right midfielder as well. He has been deployed in both those positions this season for Juventus, and he's a very attacking player. He also takes corners as well for Juventus, as you can see from his heat map. This season he started 20 games for Juventus, scoring 4 goals and assisting 2. He's also shown 1 shot per game and 1.6 key passes per game. His accurate passes per game look impressive as well at 42 accurate passes per game, and tackles is 1.4. He's also winning 64% of his duels, so it looks absolutely fantastic. And in terms of his price, you're looking at a very cheap looking £58 for his limited and £396 for his rare. Now these prices do look very cheap for me for a top player at a top side. The age is probably holding his price back a bit, and the potential that his contract expires in the summer. But like I say, I don't think he's going to be retiring, and I would expect him to play on for a few more seasons yet. Looking at his score graph, you can just see how fantastic of a player this guy is for the SO5 scoring matrix. He's actually got 6 100 scores there. He's got a number of 90 and 80 scores as well, loads of 80 scores. And he's also got loads of 70 scores as well. This guy is absolutely fantastic for the Sorare scoring matrix. Like I say, no sign of slowing down. These prices look absolutely brilliant. Moving on to the midfielders now, and the first one I've gone for is Jordan Veretout of Roma. Only 29, French midfielder. This season he started 22 games for Roma. He scored 4 goals and also assisted a fantastic 7 goals. He's averaging 1.8 key passes per game. His pass numbers look good at 36 accurate ones, and he's also putting some tackles in as well at 1 tackle per game on average. Price wise, you're looking at around 43 for his limited and a very cheap looking £258 for his rare card. This does look cheap for me for a Roma player in the Champion Europe region. And let's have a look at his score graph then. So we can see here he's got some high scores, including a score of 100, some 80s, plenty of 70s as well. So he does look a very consistent player. If you're after a threshold player, this guy is probably a man, but he's also capable of getting the higher scores as well to reach those higher rankings. These prices do look very cheap to me. Another midfielder that I like is Ivan Perisic of Inter Milan. 33-year-old, but he is starting to see more game time more recently for Inter, and is showing that he's still a quality player. Started 24 games this season for Inter Milan, scored 5 goals and also assisted 1. He's averaging 1.3 shots per game, and his key passes average is 1.2. So he does look a really good player, this guy. And it's not only that, he's also chipping in with some interceptions as well, with 1.5 interceptions and 1.2 tackles per game. So a very viable option, this guy, and still a quality player. In terms of his price, you can get him 51 as limited and a very cheap looking £286 on his rare card. Scores wise, really good scores here, especially more recently. As I say, he seems to have come into form more recently. Now he's getting regular game time again. He's got plenty of scores in the 70s and 80s here. Does look a very good cheap option for a Champion Europe side. Another player like Lucas was Idrissi Gueye of Paris Saint-Germain. 32-year-old. This season for Paris, he started 14 games, scored 3 goals, and is showing 1.1 shots per game. He's also averaging a fantastic 56 accurate passes per game. He is a bit more of a defensive midfielder, this guy. He's playing in the central defence, not really central midfield, not really an out-and-out attacker. That's why we can see some good interception numbers at 1.1 and tackles 2.8 per game. This looks really impressive to me. He has been getting more game time recently for Paris Saint-Germain, and he is an important player for them. In terms of his price, you're looking at around £44 for his limited and £220 for his rare. Now, I didn't think I'd be finding a Paris Saint-Germain player in these budget videos, but Idrissi Gueye is definitely an option with these scores as well. He's got some fantastic scores, and this price does look really cheap for me. Probably the perfect player for a threshold team, but as we can see, he is capable of getting the highest scores as well. Another midfielder that caught the eye was Pedro Chirivella of FC Nantes. Started 24 games for them this season. He scored 2 goals and also assisted 1 as well. Bit more of a defensive midfielder, this guy. Had 46 accurate passes and also shown 1.3 interceptions and 1.8 tackles per game. Now he has been more in form more recently for FC Nantes, and it does look a very viable option to me, and probably one that's going to be good for your threshold team. If we have a look at his price first of all, his limited is going for around 49 and his rare 395. Now as you can see here from his scores, as I say, more recently he's been showing some better scores and seems to be getting more consistent minutes now as well for FC Nantes. As you can see, he's going to be perfect for a threshold team as he's regularly getting these scores around the 50 and 60 mark. Although he has recently got a score of 100. Onto the forwards now then. The first one I've gone for is Karl Toko Akambi of Lyon. Generally played on the left wing, attacking wing for Lyon. This season for them, he started 17 games, he scored 6 goals and also assisted 3. He's also created 6 big chances and averaging 1.3 key passes per game. His pass numbers don't look too bad either for an attacking forward at 23 accurate passes per game on average. Not only that, he's showing 2.4 shots per game and 1.3 of those being on target. So he does look a very, very good option, a very attacking player, and he is scoring some decent goals and getting some assists as well. Price wise, his limited is going for around 147 and his rare is going for around 831. Again, probably not in the budget sort of bracket, but in terms of the Champion Europe forward, a player that's half decent, this is the budget price that you're going to be looking for. If we look at his scores, some absolutely fantastic scores here. He's got a couple of scores of 100, he's got some 90s in there, he's also got a few 80s as well, and he's also got plenty of 70s and 60 scores. As you can see, he's more than capable of getting those high scores on a regular basis. So it looks like a very viable budget option for a Champion Europe forward. Another player I like is Moses Simon. Although he is categorised as a midfielder on SofaScore, he is a forward on Sorare. He plays for FC Nantes as well, the same as Chirivella, the midfielder that I've highlighted. Only 26, the Nigerian. Quite an attacking player, very attacking in fact, and he does play on the left wing majority of the time. This season he started 20 games, scored 3 goals and also assisted 7 goals. As you can see, those stats look very impressive. He's also taking corners as well for FC Nantes, as you can see from his heat map. He's also showing 1.3 shots per game, but not only that, he's also showing 2.4 key passes per game, which is absolutely fantastic. And he's also created 9 big chances this season for FC Nantes. So looking at his price then, you can get his limited for around £84 and his rare for £638. Like I say, this is even cheaper than Akambi. To me, this looks an absolute steal for a Champion Europe forward. He's only 26 as well, so that is something else to bear in mind. If we look at his scores, he's got a couple of 90s there more recently. He's also got a few 80s as well, and 70s, and plenty of 60 scores. So this guy does look really good option, really good cheap option as well for a Champion Europe forward. The final champion Europe forward I've gone for is Alvaro Morata of Juventus. Still only 29, he does seem to have been around for ages now. He is still only 29, he's actually on loan from Atletico Madrid, but I would think that he will find a permanent home come next season. But for the rest of this season, he's still at Juventus. He started 19 games for them, and he scored 5 goals and also assisted 5 goals, averaging 1.6 shots per game and 1.3 key passes. He's also created 8 big chances as well for Juventus. In terms of his price, you're looking at 82 for his limited and 660 for his rare card. This again looks very cheap for me for someone playing at a top club. Now if we look at his scores, he's got some really fantastic scores here. So he's got a few 90s, a few 80s in there as well, plenty of 60s and 70 scores as well to boot. So it does look a very good option. It was going to get you some very consistent scores. Still only 29 as well, so he has still got a long career ahead of him. So that is all the selections for this budget scouting video that I'm going to be doing every day for the Sorare scouting season. And don't forget as well, there's the Underdog series coming up as part of this Sorare scouting season as well. And I'm going to be producing a scout pack to make sure that you guys are armed with all the top picks for that special weekly game week. This is obviously only available on the Patreon, but you can obviously head over there, join the Patreon, unlock the scout pack, and also unlock all the current content that's on the Patreon, which is 8 issues of the weekly scout reports. And don't forget on the Patreon as well, you'll also get early access to these budget videos before anybody else. So make sure you check that out by using the link in the description below. So if you do like this video, do let me know by hitting that like button, and do make sure you subscribe and ping that notification bell so you're alerted about these budget videos coming out. Like I said, join our Patreon and don't forget to pick up your free 100-page Ultimate Guide to Sorare. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, and for more free Sorare content, please check out sorareassist.com. Links in the description. If you're not signed up to Sorare yet, then sign up using the link below to get a free limited card. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.